community this year in particular is what you said at the beginning, which is that it's important to understand and put the environmental movement in context, and in the context of a much bigger initiative that we're trying to do as a state. As Ed pointed out, jobs and job growth and economic development is really at the forefront right now for us. And I think understanding the environmental issues in that context, I think, really enables us to move the environmental cause forward without it being kind of bogged down with some of the smaller, perhaps less critical issues right now. I think it's important to see the environmental community and those issues in that larger context.
But we're always, I agree, we're always going to have those small little issues that can bog us down from time to time and maybe be controversial or important to certain groups. That's inevitable. But I think one of the reasons why I want to make sure I come here every year is, my first term or two in the legislature, the Environment Committee and the environmental community was about, hundreds of those little issues. And the very first year this group met, and everybody put all their issues on, the big easels, and the name of the organization and what issues they cared about. And we looked around the room and we realized how many people had written down the same things. And so from, hundreds of little issues came a focus on a lot of big issues. And so I couldn't agree more, but understand that comes from constant advocacy and a lot of hard work from people other than us.
Diane, can I say just one word about economics? There are people who are talking in this economic difficult time about closing the state parks. That would be a grave mistake.
Well, and I was just going to ask you about that because a Yukon study showed that the state parks return $38 for every dollar spent.
Right. And indeed, I think Eric Hamlin earlier this afternoon said that it was returning about millions of dollars. I think he talked about 90-some million of dollars from the state parks and many jobs, thousands of jobs. So we would be making a real mistake if we didn't redo the fee structure if we have to. I have here a card that gets me as a senior citizen in the state parks free. I will pay a fee. We need to keep our state parks open. We have 109 state parks in Connecticut. Thank you, Bob, for telling me that. The majority of them, we don't charge a fee at all. We can have a good, honest, responsible fee structure that can keep open our state parks. It would be a tragedy to close it.